guardians of the galaxy.
Thank you.
It's all right. That was really just for you, Stephen. I mean, these other people are here as well. That was really just private screening.
Thank you for not giving away the part where the leader of the spy network saves the day. Cate, Galadriel is kissing on Gandalf in there. What's going on?
It's an ancient love story. It was actually born the first time around. I was so sad because I adore Ian, as does everyone here. But I hardly got to do anything with him at all.
Why?
I mean, anything at all. And not because I in the first story it was Clancy.
Oh, you mean in the first one? Of course you don't.
Yeah, the first time around, backwards. And so it was so special. And also having worked with Hugo so intensely on stage over the last 10 years. Sort of 10 years later to go back and then, all the core story, of course Galadriel's just a footnote in The Hobbit really, to have such a beautiful, loving relationship of understanding.
Did you wear any of the original costumes? Did they bring in?
I thought you said you don't wear underwear. Yeah. No, but my figurine didn't have. My boys were horrified because they weren't born the first time around. But to see the figurines and the elves didn't in fact wear underwear, so I didn't. But that wasn't what you were doing. That was a bit too much sharing. I think Ian did wear underwear.
I think you buried the lead on that story. No, did you wear any of the original costumes from the first 3 movies in The Hobbit?
No, it was all, well, I think the crown was the same, but it was all kind of rebooted and revamped, but of a theme. Yes. I wasn't wearing trousers.
Did we use any original costumes? Elijah, did you?
I don't think it was an actual original. I think it was a remake.
I mean, we tend to keep the original costumes. They're sort of sacred now, so we kind of don't get sweat in them again. We're hoping to do a museum one day where we can have all this stuff on display. So we didn't really want to trash the Lord of the Rings stuff for The Hobbit generally, so we tended to make new stuff.
I did have my wig. My wig was the same.
Yeah, my wig was the same.
My wig was the same. Yeah, we had 2 wigs from Lord of the Rings, and we.
But were your ears different? My ears. Well, your ears continued to grow. You had the same ears.
Well, they had to record. They had to record.
Wait a second. Your ears didn't fit anymore?
No, he was growing his ears to try and get them to be half as beautiful as Tauriel's big pointy ears.
We have an ear thing. Sorry, Tauriel was obsessed with big pointy ears, and I was like, I think they should be a little subtler than that, honey. But she was like, no, I'm going all the way on this ear.
I know how sexy a big pointy ear can be.
They were a bit more aerodynamic.
This time around?
Yeah.
I felt. Yeah. But you can only say that in retrospect. I mean,
Peter, speaking of saving things from The Lord of the Rings, one of the things that people may not know is that you've got these huge warehouses in Wellington with all the old sets.
They know now, don't they?
Sorry.
Our secret warehouses, yes. No, that's right.
Yeah, it was just one of the greatest experiences of my life was to walk through.
The Misty Mountains.
Yes, Misty Mountains, go to Minas Tirith, to stand in front, tower over Minas Tirith or Rivendell, or to actually take a quick look, to really take a look at what you had at the Grey Havens. Because in the movie, you don't get to see any of the mountains.
No, the Grey Havens is a beautiful miniature. It's a beautiful miniature. As you say, it was never really seen. So.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Beautiful, yeah. Well, we've got it all, we've kept it all, and so, we've kept it all for a reason. I want to try to let people see it one day, so more than just you. I mean, it was nice having you there, Stephen, but it'd be nice to have these folk there as well.
One thing that you don't see in the movie, I don't know whether you took it out digitally, but when I went and looked at Grond, when you have Grond, it's like the 12-foot long version of Grond there, the warhammer that knocks down the gates of Minas Tirith, is that it's a wolf. A ravening wolf with fire coming out of its mouth, but the prop itself has a penis. The wolf that you made. It's a penis, and it's very sharp. It's kind of a terrifying image.
How do you know the wolf's penis is sharp? Did you touch it?
I'm a super fan.
I mean, I didn't actually realise it until you pointed it out. It wasn't removed. I mean, no one ever asked us to remove it in the film.
Did you remove it? No.
Must be there somewhere.
It's there.
Yeah.
Stephen, it's because of people like you running around and touching wolves' penises that ComicCon is a scary place to be.
All right. Yeah. Questions? You ready to do some fan questions? Yeah. Everybody out there? We've got microphones in, let's see, where are they? Right over here, where the light is. And the young woman wearing the armor of buttons. Yes.
This is the Lord of the Rings cape and Hobbit cape. Everything on here is Lord of the Rings and Hobbit. In 10 years, I expect to be back here watching clips from the Silmarillion. First things first, in dragon voice, Benedikt, could you say button lady?
Lady.
Thank you. My question, that was great. My question is for a couple of the elves. We've seen that two-shot of Bard and Legolas. My question is, does Legolas teach Bard about archery, or does Bard teach Legolas about archery?
Whoa. Ooh, I like the way you go with that.
We have a bow off.
Yeah, we have a bow off. You do get to kill the dragon.
Do you want a sensible answer or do you want a silly answer? I don't know. What, did you ever...
Bob told me everything I know.
I've seen your archery skills.
The truth is, both of these guys are particularly good at archery in real life. And so they're both sort of quietly, I think, thinking, how do I tell them I'm really that this guy's okay, but I'm really good.
Yes.
He's got longer arrows and a bigger bow, but not quite as good a shot.
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, my arrows are sharp. And very long.
A bit like that wolf's penis.
Yeah, but your question.
Firstly, to Mr. Jackson and to everyone involved in these, thank you very much for bringing these super epic movies. My question, my children, Logan and Olivia, wanted me to ask this to Mr. Lee, but he's not here, but perhaps the cast could answer. Who do you think is more evil, Saruman or Mr. Wonka from the Willy Wonka movies?
Willy Wonka is not evil. Willy Wonka is a master.
No, Mr. Wonka, the gentleman who kept his son in that races and let him leave the house at age 10 and all this.
Got it there, bruh. Stopped. Don't often see that.
I'll pass that question on to Chris Lee when I talk to him next.
The young goddess.
Hi. I'm a huge fan of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and I'm also very interested in the technical aspects of acting. So I was wondering to all the actors on the panel if you had any specific technical techniques that you used in order to get into character, especially considering that sometimes you don't actually have an actor to play off of.
Everyone's looking at me.
Andy Serkis has been voted the answer of that question.
You know, the fact of the matter is that although there's technology involved in the way of creating characters, I can only speak from my point of view, of characters like Gollum, really, what it is exactly the same. All you need is the eyes of another actor to look into, and that's it. You know, people attach this whole kind of mystery to performance capture. Really, the magic is having brilliant actors together in a room or on a set or in an environment and being able to play off each other and not let the technology become a part of it. That really is the key. So it's about embodying the character as you would in a very normal way, despite the fact you're only wearing a spandex suit. Any of that stuff is just about losing the ability to lose yourself in a world, to lose yourself in a character, to bury yourself in a part so deep that you believe that you're that person or whatever. I mean, the technical aspects are challenging in movies like this. There's no question, but I don't think anybody on this stage really would let that get in the way of what it's really about, and I think that's the key.
Well, it's like layers of imagination. We've got Tolkien's imagination, and then our imagination comes in, and then the CGI comes on top of that, and it's like all of these kind of beautiful collaborations, one on top of each other. But if everyone's imagination is kind of alive, I think the movie gets cool. Yeah.
I think it also must be said that, Benedikt was talking about working to a tennis ball or green screen. Certainly in the first movies, I had no idea how to play an elf. And unlike any director I think I've ever worked with, Peter and also Philippa and Fran, before every scene, would absolutely, as if this was a piece of naturalism, describe what had happened before. They'd show you pictures, drawings, things, plates they'd already shot of what you were looking at, the atmosphere that you were in. So even though there were fans going and wind blowing and people covered in dots and half prosthetics, you were completely invited into the given circumstances of the world as if you were doing Chekhov, kind of, with prosthetic ears and boots.
Yes.
Hello. This question is to Lee, Andy, Benedikt, and maybe the rest of the cast. If you had to take the characters that you played to attend ComicCon, where would you take them and why?
Whole age. I don't think I'd fit in anywhere else. Be a bit of a squeeze.
I don't know, I'd ride my elk right up that aisle right there.
Come on down!
Oh, I left it in New Zealand. I don't have it with me.
Let's move on to the next question.
I asked Andy as well, so...
Well, I don't know where I'd go, but Gollum would probably go... Well, why don't we ask him and see where he'd go?
My secret dream. Precious. Yes, what is it? Oh, well, I would quite like to go backstage with Steven Colbert and see what he's got inside his costume, Precious. Yes.
Yes, the young man surrendering.
I'm a Navy SEAL with over 300 confirmed kills. I have an actual question. When you guys were working on The Hobbit, all three of them, were you, I missed both, but were you guys thinking of doing this more as its own film or as a prequel to Lord of the Rings?
Philippa?
It's interesting because we did make the decision to use the appendices and from the Lord of the Rings, so we knew it was going to be set against that backdrop. So it did shift it, of course, from the children's novel, which it clearly was written to be by Professor Tolkien. But what's cool about that is we do get to go places that you know about in the novel, but happen, Gandalf leaves the company, we get to follow him, we get to see what happens in Dol Guldur, and we get to see the White Council go up against Sauron. So that kind of stuff makes it really cool, really fun.
Yeah, it's when Tolkien wrote The Hobbit in 1937, it was just written as a book that he wrote in the absence of any other Middle Earth material at that stage. But of course, the Hobbit movie is different because the Hobbit movie is coming out on after the Lord of the Rings film. So we come at it from a different direction than Tolkien did. He sort of worked his way up, and we're kind of working our way down the other direction, really, to sort of to blend them. But I mean, I've always wanted to just make them work as a 6-film set. That's what I mean. But the goal going in at the beginning was to try to get the Hobbit and to be the tonally. To be going to Fellowship, which then ultimately ends with Return of the King. So I've been always just thinking of the 6-film sort of, boxed DVD set, except by the time it's finished, probably won't be any DVDs anymore, but never mind. It was a shame. But the 6-film downloads, does not very good at it.
What's cool about it though is you do get some people are going to watch this from the beginning. They'll have never seen it. They get to start with the Hobbit and go all the way through. And you mentioned Galadriel's relationship with Gandalf. So when you get to Fellowship and Legolas says he fell, and your reaction to that is going to have a whole new meaning, I think, now once you see what they go through in Dumbledore.
Yeah, there's a generation. We meet a lot of people that have got young kids who. They're taking them to the Hobbit films. They've never seen the Rings films, and they're going to see the 3rd Hobbit movie, and then they're going to show them the Rings movie. So there's a generation now that is going to be the way that they're going to think these films.
I think we have time for one more question.
Hey, Blanchett. Okay. Hi. I'm a huge fan of the extended edition, because I think most people are here. But over the years, there's all this rumor of there's more footage out there we haven't seen. Is it going to be in the big 6-disc set? How are we going to see an even longer cut of Lord of the Rings down the road? Or have we seen the definitive version of those original 3 films?
I mean, there is a few scenes that haven't been seen from The Lord of the Rings, but not many. Very, very few.
What were those scenes?
I'll tell you one day. Don't worry. We'll just keep. It's. I mean, there was a Arwen and Aragorn scene, wasn't it, when they were younger and when they first met. Vigo looked like he was 12 years old. Without the help of computers, it was quite amazing. But no, there is a few scenes, but I don't know. We might try to put them back in. I mean, it's not without its issues, because The Lord of the Rings was 7 million feet of 35mm film, which is sitting in a mountain in Arizona somewhere, I think, at the moment. Seriously, I think that's where Warner Brothers have some vault somewhere, a nuclear-proof vault somewhere where all the negatives, like the 7 million feet of our film is sitting at, which we'd have to go and retrieve it. So it's a big logistical thing, which I don't think anyone's quite got their heads around. But if there's enough interest from people, maybe they will.
All right, before we go, you have a contest to announce here, Peter. It's the Hobbit Fan Fellowship Contest. You're inviting Ultimate fans to sign up for a chance to win a trip to New Zealand and experience the cinematic Middle-earth. So what sort of things might these people be doing, these fans? How many, and what would they be doing?
And is Steven allowed to participate?
Cast not allowed. Cast don't even try. There's going to be more information on the internet about how how you get into this. It's like we're going to be choosing people to come down in early November, and you're going to be the first people in the world to look at the Battle of the Five Armies with me sitting in a cinema in New Zealand. It may not even be finished. It may not quite be finished, but it'll be close to being finished. Actually, I'm supposed to say it'll be finished because the studio's here. But, who knows? It'll be finished or very, very close to being finished. But no one, virtually hardly anyone ever outside of the people working on the post-production will have ever seen a single a single scene at that point. So you're going to see it exclusively, first time, and I'll be there, and we'll chat and We might even get to show you some of these secret warehouses and things too. So, Stephen, and I think there's also trips to the South Island involved too. There's like a little tour of New Zealand, a tour to Hobbiton, and we're going to open this up and make it, we're going to pick 75 people. We just thought we'd end in style. So 75 people plus a partner. Each of the 75 can bring a partner. So that's
more than 75 people.
Yeah.
Look for details on the Facebook page or at thehobbitfancontest.com. And we'd like to thank Air New Zealand, the official airline of Middle-earth, and Tourism New Zealand for their support to make this contest happen. And, Peter, do you want to announce this right now, right?
Yeah, well, we've already selected our first 2 people to come down. We've had the Lake Town Spy Network has gone out and been talking to fans to find, you know, fans that we think would be appreciative of coming down. And so we've chosen 2. We'd love to choose more than 2, but you can all apply. You can all, it's not even applying, it's like you've got to do stuff, but you'll wait till the details come out on the net. But the 2 are Chris McMeans.
Are you here? Chris McMeans from Austin, Texas?
Yeah, Austin, Texas, yeah.
Chris? Congratulations.
And Morgan Bergener. Morgan
Bergener of San Diego, are you here?
Morgan. If you are, can you make your way to the microphone? Can you make your way to the question mic at the end of the presentation, and a Warner's representative will meet you. But seriously, that's only 2 out of 75, so there's still 73 places to go, and we will hopefully see some of you down in New Zealand in November for this secret screening. I'd just like to thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much for flying out and doing it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for bringing my trust. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the cast and the creative team.
Does anyone want to see the teaser trailer again? Let's run the teaser one more time, please.
One more time. Thank you very much. I'm Steven Colbert. Now, as usual, stick around for Chris Hardwick.
I gotta get the hat on. I gotta get the hat and the iPad. Yeah, you can't do it without the iPad. Oh, well, then if you're gonna do the iPads, then I gotta do that.